First of all, Pete, 6 decades since you started out. How do you explain your longevity, and what advice would you give to your younger selves?
I'll go back to what I was saying before. This wasn't a career that I chose, it chose me. And, that act of hypnotism really changed the way that I performed. I've always been creative. So creativity has been what sustained me rather than performing. And, getting to this point where we about to go back and represent ourselves to American audience and address the fact that everything comes to an end. It's a very poignant time, but that it's been about the relationship between the audience and us. And there are long periods, what do you call it? Periods when we've been inactive, nearly 11 years in the 80s. And what's so interesting is that the fans have patiently waited. And so coming back, and often, we don't perform as much, we don't tour as much as many bands do. So a lot of our fans are patiently waiting a lot of the time to see us. So the longevity has been something that's just happened. Time passes. As you get older, it passes faster and faster and faster until you find yourself here. At a point where you have to accept that you can't do what you used to do. On the other hand, and I don't know whether Roger agrees, because Roger does a lot of solo work, as he said, and I've done a bit in my time, and there is a lot of liberation in doing solo stuff. You can do things that the Who can't do. But when we look at artists like the Stones, like Bruce Springsteen, and other much older artists like Bob Dylan, one is inspired, in a sense, to think, what could we do that would be new and different? And I think, for me, the joy is when I work on the stage, when I hear Barbara O'Reilly rippling away. I think, I wrote this when I was 26. It was an electronic piece of music. Wasn't I clever? And then we have to perform it. And so for me, it's the link between the creative stuff and the performing that's what, again, I look forward to on this tour. I look forward to going up. Whatever we play, the chances are I will have written it. So there's that sense of closing a circle, having one last grab at trying to bring that thing to life.